Hi, I'm Q, and I play Vox Windbler. Vox is a half-elf fighter and assassin rogue. She was born and lived most of her life in Asparia at the end of the Salt Valley. Her parents are Ava Windbler, who knew Perrin when they both lived in the Feywilds, and Turan Windbler. Ava's half-brother Balak murdered Turan, imprisoned Ava, and controlled Vox's uncle Theon. This results in Vox being thrust into chaos instead of the peace she had known. She eventually finds love with Reviana Brighthand, the captain of the Royal Guard, before Balak frames Vox for murdering the king of the Salt Valley, and manipulates circumstances to cause her to travel to the Dreadspire, leaving behind everything she knew. Now she travels the world with her found family, her talking sword Brightburn, to create a better future for those she loves.
Howdy, my name is Sean, and I play Atticus Phoenix. Atticus is a human fighter with a champion/homebrewed mage slayer archetype. Atticus hails from one of the oldest royal houses in Nymeria, the House of the Phoenix, which is nestled deep within the South Green, but has been wandering the continent for some time as a knight, pledging his sword to upkeep the memory of his family and to protect the people of the land. He is haunted by an ancient entity known as the Darkness, which has cursed him and his entire family with a plague that has left him and a few others as the last of their name. Atticus is the father of Atlas, his long-lost son, best friend to Cletus the Grand of the Hill Giants, former partner of Burgent Fellhammer, and designated leader of the party.
My name is Tyler James, and I play Perrin Meliamne. Perrin is a wood elf, bard, and ranger. Perrin was born on the Golden Shores to fulfill a lost prophecy before he was transported to the Feywild to escape the land's destruction. There he was raised by a figure half forgotten to all Nymeria, and eventually traveled the land under the control of Balak Morgrasp, while learning to be a conman and wanderer. He seeks to find peace between the necessity of violence in a cruel world and his deep love of life in all its complexity. Perrin is the adoptive father of Fauna, a pledged squire of Atticus Phoenix, keeper of the Door Realm Key, companion of Amos the Mockingbird, and wielder of the Ornament of Rights.
My name is Aaliyah and I play Fauna. She is a witch raised in the Evewood Coven that was recently wiped out by the Night Guard. Although Perrin is the closest thing she currently has to a father, her real parentage is still a mystery, as are the horns, which seem to be some kind of curse. She has a black cat familiar who is her best friend and constant companion, and has now found a new family in the ragtag party she has joined up with on this adventure.
My name is June, and I play Nyxloon, a shadow elf, divine sorcerer, and rogue assassin with our shared pronouns of she/they. The last remaining heir to the Nightlands and prime of the Court of Night, Nyx was secreted into Enchanted Locket to survive an ancient war, where they were soon lost to time and the whims of their Loonstone's wielder. From close friend and confidant of the Queen, to gauche pawn and ruthless assassin for the Speakers, Nyx was passed from many hands throughout history, and changed much of it. Now freed from the Loonstone's control, Nyx has only 3 goals: repay their life debt to Atticus Phoenix, protect their godson, Perrin Meliamne, and reclaim what was stolen from them in memory, identity, and homeland.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Feast of Dice channel. I am your DM, Elijah Goodall, pronouns they, them, and we are back doing a session for Castle Run for the first time since the end of September, I think. Our finale was the last Sunday in September. So we've done some world building sessions since then. Yeah, and character one-on-ones, but it's been a really long time, and I'm really excited to play again. This is our prelude session to Arc 3, which will be starting the first Monday in December. But let's just go for it. I'm excited to get into this session. This is, there's a lot. Oh, actually, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning. It's not going to apply in this session. But as I was thinking about Arc 3, and there's some stuff that I will introduce during the first session of Arc 3 too that we're also going to be doing, but some of the things that I wanted to talk about now, actually no, some of these things are secret. Just one thing, just one housekeeping rule. And that is that for Arc 3, death saves will be rolled in secret. So you will be rolling your death saving throws in secret. You will not be announcing the number out loud. You'll just privately message me what the number rolled for the death save is and keep track of it yourself, with the exception of a nat 20, because obviously with a nat 20 on a death throw, you come back at 1 hit point. So that is going to be able to add a little bit of extra tension to it if somebody goes down in this third arc. So, that being said, welcome to the prelude for Arc 3. When comes the night? And let me turn my keyboard on. Come on, keyboard. There we go.
You can do it, keyboard.
You can do it, keyboard.
Do we all just bang on our keyboard to get it to turn
I
on?
don't
Is that
believe
just
in you.
is that just the
Because my Bluetooth has to pick it up on my iPad. Okay. We'll do a little recap. I mean, we did it kind of one during each of the individual character sessions, but when we left the group last, it was immediately after the defeat of Akron, and there were losses, both within the party and then within the community of St. Florian. With the chapel being destroyed, many who were in attendance at the St. Florian's Day Ball lost their life. Thanks to the actions of the party and your allies, you were able to save more than a handful of people, picking them out of the rubble, getting them out of there before the fight got bad. But within the party, Armitage, dead, albeit at request, but by Nyx's hand. Atticus, you also went down, and when you came back, you chose to be a phoenix no longer, allowing the phoenix name to die with Akron. And Atticus, you are back because of the actions of Bert, who it was revealed was a living embodiment of a wish spell made by your father through the power of the Unbroken Green just several months before your mother gave birth to you. A wish spell to protect you, his unborn child. And having fulfilled that and brought you back in the moment when you needed it, Atticus, Bert is with you no longer. During your character session, we described what the interior ruin of this chapel looks like now, having collapsed and fallen down like almost 100 feet into the ground. It is now just this large circular ruin. A half wall still kind of rises on one side, still fairly tall for most of the buildings here in St. Florian. But with unnatural speed and beauty, green has overtaken the bottom of these chapel ruins. Moss and small plants, flowers, ivy has fully made not only a carpet where it was once flagstone and rubble, but it has begun to creep up the sides too, and it is just this beautiful, lush, green, not a catacomb anymore, but almost like a recessed garden that the sunlight filters into from above. Here's what I'm going to say. We talked about all of this in your individual character sessions, but all of you, in your own way, have been feeling the shift in the group. Some of you have received direct incentive or request to travel to the Nightlands, and those of you who have not are still feeling the pull and the shift within the group in these few days after the defeat of Akron. Chartering a ship, hiring a crew, getting the information that you can so you're not going into the Nightlands blind. All of this will take time, about 3 weeks, which is about how long the funerals are scheduled for. There is to be a massive funeral procession to honor the deceased at the events of the St. Florian's Day Ball that will end in the chapel, and it is also where I suppose it's up to you if you all want to have a private funeral after the funeral procession as well for Bert. But that is to take place 3 weeks from now, which is about how long it will take you to charter the ship. So before we get to that event, you all have 3 weeks here in St. Florian. Why don't you all tell me what that's going to look like for you?
I want to go to the library.
Okay, you're going to the library?
I assume there's a library, right?
For sure, there's a library in St. Florian, yeah. I mean, there's a library, Fauna, because Ari Telford, the tiefling wizard's apprentice who came to visit you and delivered that children's book of poetry and stories, is here to do research. So, I mean, it's certainly not the wizard library or the arcane libraries of Orsad, but there are things here that Ari has come to learn that he cannot in those arcane libraries. So there's St. Florian is one of the largest cities in Namira. There is a vast collection of knowledge and resources here. You're looking for the library. Let me ask this. Do we want to kind of do this in pairings or groups? Is there anyone else who would also be wanting to spend some of their time to go to the library to try and do research?
I think Nyx would want to kind of figure out everything that they've missed in the past several millennia.
Pick up anything from the Nightlands,
history,
yeah, for sure.
In the Nightlands, yeah.
It's up to you if you want to do that. I will also say maybe the way that we should do this is kind of split it down and organize it. Perrin, during your character session, we talked about how it makes a lot of sense for Perrin to be the one that takes point on chartering a ship and putting together a crew. But that is a lot of work for one person to do. Is there anyone who wants to mostly spend that 3 weeks going along with Perrin to try and charter a ship and track down a crew?
I think Vox has probably been keeping an ear out with people that are in her self-defense class for any crew members that are willing.
Cool. Yeah. Here's what I'll say. There's going to be 2 different kinds of checks to achieve stuff during this downtime. One, obviously the investigation check. That's going to get you more stuff if you're researching at a library or if you're trying to track down the best ship or it's going to have some influence on tracking down crew as well, finding information about the Nightlands. There's also going to be persuasion checks. And those are also going to have a significant impact on how good is the crew you can track down, how much is this going to cost you, and also persuasion checks to see information about the Nightlands. Sure, you can read about it in books, but it's possible that if your persuasion checks are high enough, you can also find the right people in St. Florian to talk to who know their fair share of current events in the Nightlands. So, that being said, if we want to say for now, like loosely, that kind of the first thing, if Fawn is taking point on library, and Nyx, you're kind of joining in on that to investigate. Perrin, if you're taking point on chartering a ship and looking at a crew, and Vox, you're joining with that. Where does Atticus fall in all this?
I think Atticus would probably try and how far away is the manor, Phoenix Manor? I feel like he would honestly just try and settle his estate and see Atlas and
I will say this,
get everything lined up out there.
Cool. So actually, you know what? We're going to do this in a little moment. There is, where would the door have been? I think we're going to say this. The reason that you chose the residence that you chose is it was an old building owned by the Phoenix estate, unused, mostly cleared out. And the reason that this ended up being your base of operations was because of that. But it is also where, when you came straight here to St. Florian through the door remains here at the residence. And Atticus, you can go back through that. Like, the Atlas has done the work on his end to actually, much like the door in Novalor and Vladimir Thakul's house, has done the work to make this a permanent point of travel. So there is a permanent door here now in St. Florian, in the residence that you are all in, that you can travel between here and Phoenix Manor simply by stepping through the doorway.
Sick. Yeah. I mean, I think Atticus would let the group know that he's gonna go back for a minute just to check in on his son, and and invite anyone to come with if they want. Okay,
cool. You're doing that. We're gonna do library stuff first. So starting in library stuff, Fun, if you want to give me an investigation roll, and then Nyx, you can give, and you can also, Fun, if you want, if you think that Fun is not just going to be in the books, you can also give me a persuasion roll too, like both rolls. And Nyx, you can give me both rolls too, if you want.
I've been doing roll-offs between my dice sets to decide which ones they want me to use for the day. So it's going to look like I'm rolling a lot, but that's why.
I should have done that because I just rolled a nat 1.
Can't
catch a break.
No. That was with different dice though, right?
Yeah, but now I've switched dice and I still rolled a nat 1. Every time I try and go to a library, I just always roll it at 1. I don't know.
Okay.
You'd think Fauna would be better at this.
It was investigation and persuasion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I guess I can still roll persuasion. She's just really bad at using the card catalog. Okay, well, persuasion I got 25.
Much better.
Yeah.
I got a 14 on investigation and a 15 on persuasion.
Okay, cool. God, nat 1 on investigation. Fauna, you head to the library. You're trying to reference stuff on the Nightlands, and after you're about 30. a lot has happened, and a lot has been happening. And you're still a little lost in it. Your focus is not that sharp. And you realize that you've been in a book for about 30 minutes that you thought was about the Nightlands. And it is not. It is actually just about Nightland, which is a traveling carnival that comes through like Asparia once a year for about a week and kind of like transforms on the outskirts in the desert. And you realize you've been reading about a carnival for over 30 minutes. And so you, yeah, you put the book back, and approaching.
Just for context, in addition to Nightland stuff, which I mean, this can still roll into the same roll numbers, but I wanted to look into Nightland stuff specifically, if I could find anything Nightland stuff, but also how it ties into, and then also stuff if I can find any other information about the half witch thing.
Cool.
So it's like specifically having to do with that, and then also the Nightland.
Yeah. On the,
I mean, I'm still rolling that one, but just so you know.
Yeah, on the one you don't like, you got really fixated on like what you thought must have something to do with it when it was talking about the quarter magicians at Nightland, but then you realize it was just like cheap parlor tricks that magicians as part of the carnival would do if you like flipped him a coin. So on a 25 persuasion check, though, you are headed to put the book back, and you hear soft footsteps and kind of a timid voice call out from behind you. Fauna, is that you?
What? Who?
Oh,
hello?
It's Ari. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you here at the library.
Yeah, well, the book that you gave me piqued my interest, so I was just seeing if I could find out any other information about it.
Yes. I mean, if in my research I run across anything, I'd be more than happy to let you know. What specifically are you looking for?
Well, I'm really just looking for any further information or like, I mean, it really is just a poem, so any actual real world information about if this situation happened, when it happened,
Right.
and if, you know, the details, because it might come in handy later.
Right. Yes. Well, if I come across anything, I'm more than happy to let you know. Honestly, oddly enough, my particular research, I believe your part of your party is you're with Atticus Phoenix, correct?
Yeah, it's not Phoenix anymore, but yes.
Oh, sorry. Was there a separation or?
Isn't it not Phoenix anymore? Or am I wrong about that?
Oh no, you're right about that.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Ah, yes. Well, I certainly don't mean to. It's odd though. I have to tell you, I didn't mention this when I was over the other day, but I actually, part of my research here is to learn about the Phoenix family, famously long-lived. I believe certainly Atticus is the most. Almost nearly a 1,000 years old by his historical counts, which is unheard of for humans, but also most other races. I'm actually here doing research on the ways that the arcane might interact with one's life and extend it beyond its natural period. It's of much interest in Orsad, recently. So mostly things in the Nightlands, night elves, sea elves, things like that. Tend, yes. Right. Anyways, if I find anything on a half witch, I'll be more than happy to tell you. Nix, I will say that you're probably within earshot of this conversation too, if you're here at the library.
You've been looking into sea elves?
Yes, fascinating elves. The sea elves are native to Oreth, or as most people know it, the Nightlands. Native to the continent of Oreth, but shortly before the 100-Year War between the courts took place, the sea elves disappeared from the continent. Most historical accounts have them, essentially just walking off into the southern seas. But particularly fascinating is the way that the sea elves could elongate their life by remaining in contact with the sea. So sea elves who emerged rarely from the sea, let's say maybe once every 100 years or so, could live upwards of sometimes even a millennia. In fact, it is said that there are certain sea elves who have never left the sea and so have never severed their connection with the immortal that elves used to enjoy. So I've been learning a lot about them. It's really quite fascinating.
That is very fascinating.
Yes, well,
as Nyx is kind of just, being
Sorry, dude, I was
themselves
just
and
waiting to see if you
haunting the
wanted to
shadows.
say
No, you're good. And kind of listening in and perusing the spines of the books nearby. I think they're turned towards Aryan. Sorry, I saw you at the party before, but I don't think we were really introduced before.
You're one of the 6. Ari Telford, Wizard's Apprentice of Orsad. You are...
Wizard's Apprentice, nice.
Nyx.
I'm Nyx, yes.
Yes. Fascinating. I don't believe I have ever in my life actually seen a night elf. I'm sorry. I don't mean to call attention to it. It's just I fixate a lot of times on my research sometimes, and I get excited about things, and I realize now I'm saying it out loud, and probably I do apologize.
My kin tend to keep to themselves.
Yes. It's lovely to meet you.
You as well. Pardon the odd question, but you seem to know a lot about. A lot. Well, you're here from Orsad? You said you're on.
Yes. Here on behest of I was just telling Fauna, looking into. Odd that you would have it, Atticus. That once was Phoenix, being part of your group. Now, famously one of, if not the longest lived human in historical records. But I am doing research into the arcane means that one might use to elongate their life. It's a matter of particular interest to several of the larger councils in Orsad.
Oh, so not a personal interest. Are you employed?
Oh no, I'm very interested in it too. Not for my own use. I just it's fascinating the ways that we can take the arcane, take all that magical potential, and defy the odds, defy nature even, and forge for ourselves a new path.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and please stop me if I'm crossing boundaries at all. But you seem the curious sort, and perhaps more knowledgeable in certain arcane arts, which I can appreciate, at least, as someone who's a little more attuned in that area. And maybe you've come across it in your research through the sea elves, but I found this thing along the shoreline, and I can't quite make any. I can't make anything of it. It seems to, well, maybe I should just let you see for yourself. And they're going to pull out the oyster they found with the pearl inside and pass it over to him. And they're going to be paying very close attention to any kind of like reactions he has.
Okay.
And
yeah, give me an insight check. Okay. And then I'm going to roll investigation, or I'm gonna roll an Arcana check for Ari.
It's a 13 insight.
It is only that is an 11 for Ari on the arcane check total. He looks at the oyster. I mean, Jen, you said a 13 for insight.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, no strong reaction other than like two things: appreciating that someone is coming to him asking for and excited to see something new. You get the sense that he is curious, exceedingly curious, and as an apprentice to what is probably a fairly important wizard in Orsad, there's also maybe a sense, I mean, he was at the St. Florian's Day Ball. That is certainly not part of research. You get the sense that he likes the association with, for lack of a better word,
he's a groupie.
Celebrities. Yeah. so he's loving being asked for his assistance right now. But on 11 Arcana, I mean, he takes the oyster. I see. Fascinating. It appears to be sealed tight. Yes.
They're gonna reach over and open it, because Vox already opened it before, and I think if it sealed itself again, like Nyx has learned the trick by now.
Yeah.
And again, pay attention to his reaction for the pearl specifically, because it showed Nick something and it showed Perrin something, and I think they're trying to see.
Got it.
If he sees the same thing, if he sees something else, if he sees nothing at all.
13 insight, you pry it open. As you pry it open, oh God, how long ago did you say you found this? The smell coming out of the oyster now that you've like reopened it, it's putrid. It is like rotten and it's bad.
Oh, no. I don't like the context about that. I mean, it's been a while, and like I said, I did find it on the shore, so yeah.
Oh, well, that is something. And you see, do you mind I'm assuming you've seen the pearl that's in there.
Yes,
you don't mind if I remove it?
If you think it's wise, I mean, I obviously want it back, but yes, you can touch it.
Oh. Is there a reason it wouldn't be wise?
Well, let's say we've had some interesting experiences with contact with this, and when I first found it was arcane.
Yes, that would explain
it was sealed with magic. Yes,
the rotten oyster in your pocket. Yes, perhaps best if we leave the pearl in the.
It's not dangerous.
Deceased
at
creature.
Least,
I wish I could tell you more. It's fascinating. probably one of the more
For the sake of
fascinating things I've
research,
seen be
and
washed
Nyx is
up by.
gonna push his hand down to actually make contact with it.
To push his hand down in the pearl.
Yeah.
You go to goes into the oyster. The sound that it makes and smell, like, it is just gray and mealy in there and like gelatin at this point. It just oh god. Touches the pearl. You don't see anything happen. But it is just like rotten shellfish goo, like dripping out of the sides of the shell now. Well, this is not going to come off.
Interesting. All right. Well, you didn't see anything. Apologies here. And Nyx is gonna pull out like a piece of cloth from their pack or something and let him clean himself.
Fauna, I don't think Fauna was there for that whole thing with the oyster before, because she was like off finding Adele dead in that church, I think. So I don't think she really knows what that is or hasn't really seen it.
Yeah.
So I think she also is interested in it. And since she like wasn't there for like when it was originally found, she's gonna be like, "What, Nyx? What is this?" And she's also gonna touch it.
You go to touch it. Make me an Arcana check.
28.
Fuck.
I was asking the wrong person.
Okay. Fauna, you go to touch this pearl, and in your mind as you touch it, everything just goes dark. You are in a space, but surrounded by nothing. And in this nothingness, you start to see something, and you realize like you're standing on solid something. And if you look down at your feet, you can see small little ripples, almost like you are perhaps like standing in like an inch or so of water, but pretty quickly, like it's so dark that the ripples just disappear into seemingly darkness. There's no temperature to the water. It's not cold or warm. It just feels like nothing. And then you hear a noise. Something splashing in that same shallow water. As you look out, your eyes focus on a shape, what looks to be some kind of humanoid figure. Was it probably one point like very broad and well muscled, but is now just like emaciated, hollowed out cheeks, eyes that have recessed back into the sockets, pallid gray skin. And I guess we're going to do this. August, you are lying there on the ground, and it has been nothing but this darkness now for, you don't know, hours, weeks, decades. Time has lost all meaning. Until all of a sudden, about 60 feet away from you, in the utter darkness, you see the form of what looks to be maybe human, some sort of figure, but they have those black curling horns coming out of their head, long auburn hair. August, you've barely got any strength left. What do you do?
You get back from me. You're not gonna trick me with another one of your tricks. Swamp hag.
No, I'm not the swamp hag. Are you all right? My name's Fauna. Fauna's just gonna like go over to him and like start wellness checking.
Wellness checking. Yeah, give me a medicine check.
$12.
This man he's not even near death. He should be dead. The heartbeat is so slow that there are what feels like an eternity of seconds in between beats. And it's so weak. You can see the skin is so drawn back that the veins, even the veins that show through, they don't look full. Even the veins themselves look like they're barely pumping any blood through the body. And then you realize, Fonda, the smell, like something that has been sitting in stagnant salt water for weeks, almost rotten.
What's your name?
You see my axe around here? Do you mind just setting it in my hand and holding still?
Is that so you can murder me? Because then no.
All right.
Do I see is axe here?
You do not see the axe anywhere.
Okay. I haven't seen your axe anyway, but can I do something to help you? How did you get in here?
I don't know for sure. I think I was on the shoreline. There was work that needed done. I need to warn Atticus about the danger.
You know Atticus?
You know Atticus?
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling with him for months.
To murder him?
No, why do you think I want to murder everybody?
Everybody's real murdery lately, and it's hard
well,
to
not
keep
me.
track.
You can trust me.
Okay.
Is the cat here too in spirit vibe, or is it just me? Eli?
Just you.
Okay, just checking. I don't like what color you're doing over there.
Give me a perception
Not
check.
boding well.
My name is August, by the way.
August. Me perception check? Okay. 26.
From behind you, Fauna, you hear soft footsteps in the water. Oh. Well, I did not expect to have caught two of you in here. Fauna. Hello. I see you met our friend August.
What did you do to him?
Oh, God, I knew I was going to be so lonely getting to the bottom of the sea, and I thought, why not make a friend for myself? Somebody to brighten the journey down there. But then, silly me I went and dropped him right on the shoreline.
Let him go.
Oh. I don't want to.
Well, do it anyway.
Not the most convincing argument you've ever come up with.
Well, I'm not really the best arguer generally, but you could do something nice for a change.
You're sure you want him to come with you out of here?
I want him to be alive.
Ooh. Does he look very alive to you right now?
Whatever you do, you can undo it.
Fauna,
Who are you talking to?
Have you ever had a pet?
Yes, you know that I have.
Sorry, I thought that was a familiar. I didn't know it was the same thing. Well, let me explain it like this. Sometimes when we have pets, we leave and we forget to feed them or take care of them. And then, well, as you can see, it's not great, but is it something I did to him, or is it just something that happened?
It's still your fault.
Is it my fault that this is what happens to a mortal body when it's left alone? Constant care? I don't know how you do it.
It's your fault that he's in here.
That's true. Well, if you want me to let him out, I can let him out.
Why are you saying it all sinister? Like, could you just be a normal person for once and like let him go and let him live and not be a creepy weirdo?
Oh, Fauna, you're hurting my feelings.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm just figuring this whole thing out. I've never really existed like this before. Huh? If you want me to let him out.
What were you before this?
Before.
How did you exist?
Well, if you really want to know, I can tell you.
Okay. Is this a trick?
Fauna,
Could you just
Fauna, make me a wisdom
not
saving
make
throw.
something a trick? 18.
Cool. On an 18, your mind is flooded with images of cosmos, stars, clusters of brilliant gases floating out in like so far away from the world that you are on that it is truly stretching your mind to a very uncomfortable point. And at the edge of that, you see a darkness. And a darkness where one by one, this darkness encroaches on stars, galaxies, entire systems. And all that light is swallowed into the nothing of darkness, and there's no sound, no scream. There's just nothing. And you're...
All right, well, I'd probably be insane too if that was my situation, so...
You're going to take 7 points of psychic damage as this image, like, tears through your consciousness. And behind the outlined dark figure of the Filth King, you see the silhouette of a door appear, and the door is just looking back out into that library in St. Florian. You're welcome to go if you like, and by all means, if you want to take August with you, you can have him.
Okay.
Please don't leave me here.
I would never. Fauna's going to, she's going to take August's hand and stand up and move slowly towards the door, like kind of circling around the figure, the other friend that's there. And she's going to, as they get to the door, she's going to just, without saying anything else, step through it. But as she's stepping through it with August, she's going to cast a healing spell on him. But also she's going to take the little vial out of her bag that has the residual Akron feather magic in it, and she's going to channel that into her healing spell.
Okay. I like that very much. Give me an Arcana check.
Uh, 21.
Okay. Vaughn, as you walk out the door behind you, I mean, you just sort of hear the Filth King talking to themselves in the empty space. Oh, I really love what that did with the balance of the room. I'm going to be able
just
to
unhinged.
fit a lot more in here now. And you are stepping out of the door back into the library. What healing spell are you using?
I'm gonna go all in because I'm pretty sure that the implication was that he would just be dead. So I'm gonna use heal.
Okay. You're using heal, and you're channeling or maybe even like sacrifice. Your Arcana check was 21, right?
Mm.
Okay. Everyone else out. Nix, I will say this. So Fauna
gone?
Fauna touched that pearl and like didn't disappear, but you saw Fauna just like go slack, not disappear into the pearl, but like fall backwards. And as Fauna fell backwards, there was just like a pool of black that opened up, and and now there's just this like pool, like this weird negative space pool of black, like kind of like moving around the floor, staying in the same space, but like the edges are rippling. They would have definitely moved
to have caught her.
I don't think there would have been a way to do it because Fauna's are like it happened like so quick.
So she went into the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have been freaking the fuck out and probably so like weapons drawn.
Ari's also
you can tell they're
out.
already thinking to like jump
in the middle of the library.
Do you want me to get something? Do you want me to get something? I'll go get someone. I'll go get the head librarian. I'll go get the head librarian right now. And Ari's going to take off in the library. Nix, are you like staying there?
What is the time between Fauna falling back and then like stepping out through the door.
A good minute passes with like nothing happening here. All of that just happened to Fauna is like happening in real time.
Okay. Yeah, Nyx definitely would have cast message to anybody who was like still within range and like in the building, in the party, and like something happened to Fauna. I think it's the Filth King. I need all hands on deck right now. Like, and then I think they're hesitating whether they jump in or not, and probably like right about to when Fauna gets out.
Okay, cool. Make me Atticus, Perrin, and Vox. All of you make me luck checks to see if you're close enough to get that message. Because wait,
flat 12.
Message cantrip. Do you have to be in sight of someone though? In visual sight, or do you just have to know the person?
Let me check.
Sending, I know you just have to know that, or have like an object of theirs, or.
I rolled an 8.
It just says within range, which is 120 feet. So, but I can double that with the
to
sorcery point, which in that point they would, because they would be in.
Anyone that got an 18 or above on their luck check is close enough to get this, because I think being within 240 feet in a city as big as St. Florian would have to be pretty extraordinary.
Sorry.
I got an 11. Yeah.
Okay.
12.
Yep. So Nyx, it's just like you're trying to reach out to everyone. You're like by here, like the head librarian is over here. The head librarian is freaking out.
The cat is also freaking out.
The cat is like, I can't. It's takes a full 30 seconds to like tap his paw because he's afraid that it's water. But when he learns it's not water, he's just been like clawing and pawing at the thing the whole time. Funny, you about what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, you like come out of it. Is like, it's not like when Perrin opens it, you almost like slide out two-dimensionally, like you almost slide out of space back into
Roger
like
Rabbit
third
style?
dimension. Yeah, just back into I'm going to tell you what happens, because you are correct that I like the move of sacrificing the phoenix feather, and you know, you're channeling your first 6th level heal spell. August.
Well, it's not a phoenix feather. It's like it's an actual feather from Akron, but like in magic.
Yes.
that I took when I saved.
Yes.
Cletus. So it's not like one of Atticus' feathers.
This is a complicated work of, but you got a very high arcana check. This is a complicated bit of spell work, and here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to allow. I don't know if you can remember what August's Constitution save was. I think as a 5th level character, his proficiency bonus would have been 3 plus whatever his Constitution modifier was. Because as a barbarian, he's proficient in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull all that up if you want it.
Just make me a Constitution save.
So I never leveled him up from when we did the one shot, so I don't know where he's at now. 14 was the raw roll, though.
Okay. 14. I mean, if his do you remember if it was a +3 or a +4 to his Constitution?
No.
Cool.
I don't know if I remember either.
+2.
+2. Okay, cool.
+2.
So 2 + 3,
Strength
so
was
5.
3.
19 Constitution save. Fauna, you pull out of the door a body that should be dead. You are pulling out essentially bones, like draped. There's like seaweed, but it's a skeleton. I'm gonna just say it like that. There's not even any skin left on this thing. You're coming out of the door with a skeleton. As you come out of it and you're casting that spell, oh my god, I just had the cube point up.
Can he just be a living skeleton?
I will tell you that is precisely what is about to happen. So, why can I not find it? That's so weird. Hold on. Oh, it's because it's right there. As you come out of the door, skeleton, boom, hits the ground. Nyx, you're there. The cat's there. Ah! Jumps out of the puddle. Head librarian is there, fully freaking out. Several other librarians are around there. They're all freaking out. Ari's come back. He's freaking out, but he's also furiously writing down like notes in a journal that he's pulled out.
Oh God, what the fuck happened? Are you okay?
I'm fine, but this is August. He's not fine.
Yeah, August, you were burning. Here's what I'm going to say. You did the yell, but August, you're a skeleton. You don't have vocal cord. Like, you can't talk. All of you just see this skeleton like come collapsing out of the door. And as it comes out of the door, like, Fauna, you're almost riding it out of the door. And as you're concentrating on it and your magic is surging into this skeleton, Feather, gone. You can take it out of your inventory. But you use that component in order to, like, it's not... August would have experienced death coming. So it's not like a resurrection spell. You're not bringing August back from the dead. His soul was still there, and somehow in this moment you are finding a way to tether his soul because they are his bones. You're finding a way to like link that soul to those bones. So bones can still be in it. I'm going to say there's enough muscle and tendon there to make it work, but August, you are a fully mute now, like large skeleton that just kind of, you constantly, I think, have like green flame now just sort of like rippling in little shimmers over your body. And just two little green flames burning in the eye sockets.
Yeah, heard.
So sorry.
What happened?
I think August sits down and like he's got his knees up and he's wrapping his arms around his knees and he's just gonna rock back and forth.
Fauna's just gonna like pat him on
its name, or did you
bone.
name it?
Sorry?
Did that tell you its name, or did you name it? You said his name was August.
Yeah, no, he told me, see, in wherever that was that I just went, he was still sort of a person, and the Filth King was there and said a lot of weird, creepy stuff like he always does, and I couldn't leave him in there to die, so I tried to save him.
I don't
know how well it worked out.
Can we put it back?
No. I mean,
August gives one of these.
The cat, like, as you raise your hand, fully like jumps back a good 2 feet, just arched.
Wait, can you hear me? Are you like aware of what's going on right now?
August gives a shrug as if to say, I don't know why it makes sense for me to hear and not be able to speak, but yeah, I can definitely hear you.
I'm so sorry, August. I really tried to do my best to keep you alive. I don't know if this is what you had in mind, but how are you feeling?
I don't think he can answer you, Fauna.
August takes one hand and xylophones it down his ribcage.
Okay. Can he write? If I give him, I'll hand him my little notebook and a pen.
Was August literate?
No!
I didn't think he was. Cool. So we've created a living musical skeleton who communicates with notes. Musical notes.
A drawing? Can he draw a picture?
Important to make the distinction. Yeah.
He continues to play around on his ribcage until it sounds like the default iPhone ringtone.
Awesome. Great. We've learned so much in this library.
August, you're on our team now. Do you want to come to the Nightlands with
us? August swings his arms like this. Do I just mime this now? Am I just miming a character? Is this a mime character I have to play?
Is this payback for all of the NPCs
that
Aaron has forced on you and the voices and
yes, your axe. We'll get your axe. We'll get your axe back for you. I promise.
How do I even? How am I supposed to do?
We can't give this thing back its axe.
Why not? It's all he cares about.
August reaches out towards the cat like with an open palm.
Give me an animal handling check.
He's a good skeleton.
Respectful fauna. How do you know that?
I just met him in there on animal when he was a person. I can just tell.
I think everyone's a good person. Except for when they're actively trying to kill you.
Wait, shit.
Listen,
wait, hold on.
Hold
on. I just opened. Sorry, this is important. I just opened August spells. And because I forget the subclass he is, but I have beast sense and speak with animals. Yeah. So I can exclusively talk to the cat and Amos.
We're going to be playing some telephone for sure.
Amazing. Incredible.
Oh, and Brightbird.
Do you...
he's just... I think he's just one of the animals now. Yeah. I think he sits at the kids' table
August,
with the animals.
Do you say anything to the cat as you reach your hand out?
Yeah, but let me think about how he sounds now that he's dead.
Yeah. Oh.
You're welcome.
Kitty.
Oh
Man,
God.
Fuck you. Fauna, I love you. I'm leaving. This is too weird. And the cat is going to leave the library.
All right. Well, we should probably go find the others and introduce them to August.
Ari's still like there writing. Ari's fully gone in note-taking land, writing notes.
Is the pool still there?
The pool is not there anymore, and the librarians have like they're still fully just sort of like they just don't know what to do about this skeleton. You can see that one of them has like brought out like a little little rope to sort of like partition off the area so no one comes in this area.
I'm so sorry for the scene and for any mess or damage that libraries sustained. This is official Phoenix business.
It's official Phoenix business. Well,
yes,
I mean,
so
in that
sorry.
case, it's is like this small
I would very much
librarian.
appreciate your discretion and that this stays quiet.
Okay.
This skeleton that has been haunting your library is not going to be a bother anymore. She's just going to lead him away.
Okay. Yeah, give me a persuasion check with advantage for Nyx.
It's a 12 for the first one. Oh god, yeah, 12 is the highest.
Okay. 12.
Yeah.
Gnome's gonna look at the skeleton, look back at you. Hey, none of my business what you do with your free time. And the gnome is gonna walk off.
I appreciate you, librarians. Very needed job. Unsung heroes.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Thanks for saying so. Okay. You are all leaving the library. New companion in tow.
Do you want me to do anything with his character sheet or deal with it later?
We'll deal with what the character sheet will be now at a later point before we start Arc 3 in December.
Sure thing.
As we walk away, and just to save Fauna from having to like rehash it, Nyx is definitely interrogating her on like every single thing that the Filth King said, like everything that happened over there.
I will also say you got I think a 14 on investigation, 15 on persuasion. Calling the 15 on persuasion like your interaction with Ari and that information about kind of like secondhand getting that information about sea elves and stuff. 14 investigation. I will tell you. Hold on, let me look real quick at my notes here for the Nightlands. Ooh. You are going to learn. Nyx, you find several books on the history. You find one in particular, though, that is like not specifically about the Nightlands, but is on history of different elves and the elven races. In the section on night elves, there's a small like section that outlines kind of like a lot of big historical events for night elves. Some of them you would know about, like there's not any new details, I think, where it talks about the 100-Year War. There is an event directly preceding the 100-Year War. And it sticks out to you. It's as of note because it mentions here the death of the Moon King. And that stands out because it's not the death of the Moon Kings.
Yeah, that's singular.
It mentions the death of your father, Vast Loon.
Vast? Oh.
Your other father, Mala Loon Aerosant, went missing. But this is a particular event known as the Knight of Cups. And what you learn when you're reading about it is you had heard, I think as a child, maybe a little bit about this artifact, but it's kind of like it worked into some of like the rituals you learned about Makorum and things like that. Like there was one particular ritual where like you were meant to like catch rainwater in your hands like it's a cup, and we're imitating this sacred cup to the night elves, and this cup is known as the Omira, which is the cup of creation. There was an event immediately just like really a year or so before the 100-Year War broke out, known as the Knight of Cups. I think that investigation is good enough too for you to realize like the Knight of Cups, you just went through this memory when we did yours, but like I think you've just gone through this memory. That was the night that the Waxing Knight took you out of Loonhelm and you saw your father dead. And you realize now it wasn't just like a coup this was a big thing, because the Knight of Cups was also the night that the Olmira, or the Cup of Creation, went missing. And it has yet to be found.
Damn, so Nyx is spiraling. So Mala is just noted as missing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to try and take the whole book if they can. If they can't, they're going to make sure that nobody's looking and just tear out the page.
Cool.
And smuggle that into their pack.
Okay.
Nyx, it's a library. You can just check it out.
I'm not going to return this. Bless you, Fauna, but
just in case you didn't know how a library worked, I'm just making sure.
The gnome sticks his head around the corner. Did you need a library card or anything for any books you needed to be checking out?
No, we're good. Thank you.
No? Okay. All right. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
A real
just
easy
make
process.
sure this place
It's really,
stays
you just gotta
secure. Thank you.
put your signature right here. Okay. All right. Well, then.
Actually, yeah, I think I need a card.
You want to open a fantastic. Great. It sort of eyes the skeleton. And what about your friend there? Is he going to be needing a library card?
Sadly, he cannot read.
Oh.
So no.
God,
a lot of
you
us.
have any picture books?
I feel like an absolute heel.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, but picture books. We do have picture books.
Maybe we should get a card for him.
20
too,
minutes
then.
later, Fonny, you've got a library card, and August, you are leaving the library with like 3 children's books, brightly colored images. Like
August is holding the books, but with his other hand, he's like poking at his eye sockets, and then poking at where his vocal cords would be, and just kind of shaking his head.
I mean, he can't see?
No sense at all.
I mean, he can, but I don't know why he can.
August, the way that you see it, you just have these two. You've got these 2 little like burning green orbs basically in your eye sockets that are just sort of floating there. Everything is tinged green.
Classic.
It's much like we can't see Sean's green cup. That is all.
Yeah.
All August sees.
You all leave the library.
Wait, it's green now. What the fuck?
Oh my God. Oh no.
Wait, is this the hat you were wearing the whole time, or did you do a hat switch too?
Hat switch.
Definitely hat switch.
Definitely hat switch.
This is just a continuous gig.
We're going to skip over to Atticus. You travel back to what are you doing here at Phoenix Manor?
Atticus is in the family graveyard. He doesn't have a body for his father, but he is constructing a tombstone to put next to his mother's grave, and he is also building something for Bert in the family graveyard as well. He's just kind of like keeping house a little bit and honoring the fallen from the battle, and then he is going to look for Atlas because he hasn't talked to Atlas since he left. So
yeah, I mean, you find Atlas in the library.
Hey there, boy.
Hey, Dad. Atlas is just gonna run over and give you a big hug. Dad, I'm so glad you're all right.
I was worried you were gonna not recognize me for a second.
No, I think I knew something was gonna happen. Dad, I'm afraid to ask, but where's Bert?
Son, he had a really important mission to go on. Being a knight and all, he's somewhere better now, but doing his knightly duty. But trust me, it was for naught.
He saved you, didn't he?
That he did, son. That he did. Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now if he didn't do what he had to do.
I think I knew. I spent a lot of time with my mind all mixed up with Bert's, and it took me a while to sort it out after coming out, but I think I knew. That's why he came to us, isn't it? Was to save me and to save you.
It seems he was our ace in the hole the entire time. More than just a frog or a gnat, he was our salvation. So come take a walk with me. I want to show you something out in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah, Atticus is gonna take him out to the family like graveyard, and he's gonna show him the Bert's gravestone, and then he's gonna show his grandfather's gravestone, and he put one more gravestone down, and it's Atticus Phoenix, and he's like, you see that gravestone right there?
Yeah.
See what happened? I've been haunted for a very long time in my life, and without Bert, I'd be actually in this grave probably, or buried in St. Florian, but Bert saved me, and I'll always have him to thank for that. But truth be told, son, coming back, I'm not the same man I once was. I mean, clearly, look at me. I got this cool thing now. I got some gray in my hair. My armor's green now. It's fucking sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But I think, I wish this was me coming home and just being here, but there's something else that calls for me, and you saw my friends. They all dropped everything to come help me, and I gotta repay them. I gotta go with them, but...
Dad, I want to come with you.
I wish you could come. I really do. It's just... It's not safe for you. And, the people of the South Green need the last Phoenix. They need someone to look up to and someone to lead, and that's you now, bud.
Roll me a persuasion check. Do it with advantage. This is your kid.
I swear I'll turn this van around right now.
$25. Oh, with advantage. Let me just roll.
Just in case.
Yeah, 25 was the higher one. 19 plus 6.
Atlas is 12 years old, Atticus, but you see him take a deep breath. At the edge, not intruding in the space and time that you are having in this moment with Atlas, but you do see Amara, the ghostly apparition that is essentially a living spell, sort of almost a bit of a copy of Atlas's mother, and who has been the caretaker for Phoenix Manor, standing there at the edge, watching. Just solemn look on her face. Give me an insight check.
Natural 20. First natural 20 of Arc 3.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Atlas is 12 years old and he's feeling so many things at once. He is at once not even so much fear, just sadness that you're leaving again. He has Amara, and that's good, and he has everything here that he loves. He has the books, he has the manor, he's right on the edge of the meadow that leads out into the Unbroken Green. But he is sad to have you be leaving again. At the same time, he is 12 years old, and you see a determination in him. In this moment, he realizes how big of a moment this is, and if he's willing to take it on, what kind of responsibility that is. And it is a moment of stepping into, at 12 years old, being a little bit more of an adult, which he's always been old for his age anyway. But you see resolve in him to take it seriously. And not because it was you who asked, but because he knows you're right. Someone needs to be here. And why not him? I can do it, Dad.
I know, son. That's why I asked you. Hey, it's not gonna be forever. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Bring you some books that I find along my travels.
Okay.
I know you like the magic ones, so I'll ask Fauna to help me find those ones.
If you can find.
She's really good in a library. She knows how to pick something out.
Yeah. Tell her to find me some of the cursed ones.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Those are the most fun ones.
Yeah. Okay. And hey,
he's gonna wipe his tear. He's like,
it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
You
I can come to the funeral.
You
right?
got absolutely, bud. Yeah. Why don't we finish up here and you can come back with me? But maybe let's figure out a way we can communicate while I'm gone. I mean, letters take forever, and I know there's
I can
some
figure
magic
it out.
stuff.
I can figure it out. I know what books to grab. Hold on, I'll be right back. And Atlas is going to sprint off towards the library. Is there anything else you're trying to do here before you head back, Atticus?
No, I think it's really just kind of soaking up time with Atlas and, letting any of the staff that's still there know that he's in charge and, making sure.
Yeah, Amara has already been going through the hiring process and extensively vetting new staff that are being hired for the manor.
Yeah, and then just making sure everything's in order and, the museum's up and running again.
Yeah.
And,
Cool.
Just kind of setting the house up for success for Atlas.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Before we get to hiring the ship and the funeral and all that, I think we'll take our 10-minute break real quick. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. And we're back. Okay. Atticus, you've wrapped up stuff in Phoenix Manor. Atlas is now back with you in St. Florian. Library stuff is done. Yeah, I think before we get to the funeral, we're gonna go through chartering a ship and trying to find a crew. So Perrin and Vox, if you want to give me investigation and then persuasion rolls.
Wow, we're in good shape.
I got a 24 on investigation.
Yep.
Investigation and perception?
That sounds correct. Yeah. Or sorry, did I say perception? Persuasion.
Persuasion. Oh. Okay.
I got a 20 on persuasion, not nat.
Okay. Yeah.
For persuasion, Perrin rolled a 29. For an investigation, he rolled a 22.
Oh my
Hell yeah, we're so smooth.
Oh
so we're getting a free boat.
16 and 19.
Free boat.
Perrin just talked someone into giving us their boat.
He for sure talked them into issuing credit on behalf of the Phoenix family. And like that Atticus Phoenix is the guarantor, but Atticus Phoenix doesn't exist, but they for sure accepted that.
I also juiced into the deal by saying they could come for 14 free self-defense classes that are already free.
Outstanding. The ship that you manage to I mean, ooh, God, those persuasion checks are so good. Actually, this is one of the few things that I didn't think about was ship costs, but the cost is going to go down significantly based off of that persuasion check. Here is what I'm going to say. You could look around for cheaper options if you wanted to. Hold on just a second.
What was the price on this then, guy?
You are going to be... Oops, that's the wrong keyboard. You are speaking to one of the, like... Basically, you, Perrin, were pointed in the direction of a notable trade captain here in St. Florian who has, I would say, like more than a dozen times made the journey to the Nightlands. So they are no stranger to this. But you are dealing fairly rare. I think maybe you've come across this species before in your time, Perrin. Maybe you can tell me, but you are. It is like a midnight black minotaur that you are dealing with. Essentially, that is like the ship captain.
I feel like there was a minotaur bartender.
There might have been a minotaur bartender actually.
In
like
the Saltlands.
Yeah, like I think we did mention that once before. But yeah, full like ivory white horns, but everything else like velvety black, huge broad shoulders. It's a little bit shorter than Atticus. So I guess compared to Atticus, like almost looks kind of stocky, but is not short by any means. And that's who you're going to be dealing with, I think, for the full cost of a ship. I just want to look up something because I don't want to name a ridiculous price bait. Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems correct.
So, let me get this straight. You're looking to take a crew across the wide sea and get to the Nightlands within 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, that more or less adds up.
All right. And I'll take it you'll also be needing a full crew for the ship, as none of your members capable
Right.
sailors.
Literally none of us, besides me, have any sailing experience, and I was mostly drunk.
Brother, aren't we all? So, you'll be needing a capable crew and a ship for hire for 5 weeks. You've been amiable and certainly more of a pleasure to deal with than some of the lot that I have to deal with down here at the docks. I myself have such a vessel and quite the experienced crew. I myself have made the journey more than a few times. Let's say we call it 1,000 gold pieces a week. With we'll call it a 2,000 gold piece bonus upon arrival if travel is without any incidents.
What an interesting deal, structured specifically to incentivize you to create delay on the journey so that it takes longer.
Oh, no, pardon me, that's where the bonus comes in. If there's an incident that delays the trip, then by all means, I'll tell you what, if I can't get you in 5 weeks there, then I'm not really worth my salt, so we'll cap it at 5 weeks.
How much tonnage can your ship transport and cargo?
A significant amount. Are you looking to bring on a fair amount of cargo?
Oh, no, see, that's actually quite the interesting bit here. We intend to return with 0 cargo, which means the hold is yours.
Interesting. So, really you're just looking for transport to the Nightland, so...
Right, so goods in, goods out. Tell you what, how about we do this? I will front you 1,500 gold to purchase raw materials here. Then you sell those materials on the other side. You buy whatever you want to bring back. And that's all yours. And we'll call that your bonus. I'll front your purchase amount. You take that as the bonus, and we do 500 gold a week.
500 a week. 2,000 up front to bar goods. And no more than a dozen crew on your end. I myself will have 10 lads on board to man the ship.
We bring 12. Just real quick, out of character, we already decided who's going with us.
You don't have the full. I think at this point you have been introduced to Skeleton August, so that is another one. Obviously, we're not going to count things like the cat and Amos. So if we're counting Skeleton August, that puts your group at 6. I will say on those very high persuasion and investigation checks, you don't have to, but if you tried to convince them to come, they would. You could convince Vladimir Thakul and Kurt Starfucker to join you.
We will decide that in a second.
Okay. And then, so that would leave, let's see, we're at 6, 8. That would leave you 4 more slots.
We have Vera, and we have...
So you're right, thank you. So 3 more slots.
And isn't Fauna's boyfriend coming?
Oh my god, Cletus. So 2 more
Yeah,
slots. Yeah, thank you.
Come on.
Also, I sent you a message on Discord, Tyler.
And Bert and Armitage, right? Because they're fine. Everyone's fine.
Because they're fine. Everyone's fine.
Totally great.
So I have us 5, August, Cletus, Vera, Kurt, Vlad. Everyone's fine with bringing those 2 as part of the crew?
We want Vlad for sure.
Okay, and then I have...
definitely want to find the real descendant of Hugo de Bois after I was tricked in the
And then I have already put in some requests to Elijah for some characteristics of some potential recruits as well.
Yep.
So I think 12 is there. Does that feel right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're at 12. Yeah, I mean that. So you're offered the deal of 2,000 up front, so that the captain can buy trade goods, and then
all right,
500.
One final version of this: 2,000 up front, and I get 20% of your gross profit at the end. If you get something really good and you make it out with 30 or 40,000 gold, you know, that's a pretty good deal.
Let me ask you a question. How much?
And let me ask too: is Vox here with Perrin making, like?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Minotaur looks across the table at both of you.
Exactly how much heat are you planning to bring down on my ship?
Heat?
Absolutely none.
But also, we should probably stay away from authorities.
Right. For my discretion and the amount of danger that my crew may or may not perhaps be putting themselves in, we'll call it 10% off the top of any profit made during trade. You've got yourself a deal.
Right. No, that's fair. That's a fair point. You do realize that we were referred to you specifically because your crew is a bunch of lowlives who already want to stay away from the authorities. But, 10% is fair.
If anything, we could probably help keep authorities off of you. We're two sheriff deputies.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, we don't have maritime authority.
All right. I feel a little
so
better
to be clear, if heat comes down on you, it's coming down on all of us. So we're not going to stand over on the side of your deck and say, "Oh no, poor us. We just want to transport." We're all in exactly as much as you are, and the trade blockades are in place.
Right.
All right. Well, 2,000 gold up front.
2,000 gold up front. 10% off.
Vox, pay the man.
Yeah. Yep. We'll pay the man. Definitely. It's pay. Atticus will just pay us back, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're a fucking asshole.
Oh, that just reminded me. I have all your presents. What was that? What did you say, Vox? I'm a what?
You're still an asshole, Perrin.
Yeah, I am.
Asshole or not, it's good to be doing business with you.
Of course. We'll see you on the docks. And Perrin does like the traditional smuggler's handshake, which might be impressive to this guy.
Yeah, I think the Minotaur captain, whose name you would already know, having met with him, is Mariko North. Give me a... God, this is going to be culture. Give me a history check real quick. Just to see if you can put the particular spice on it that would impress Mariko.
Dirty 20.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Part of it is, in fact, shaking spices onto your hands while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Perrin's variation is for sure from the Citrus Isles, so it's for sure a little bit of acidic spiciness.
It actually gets pretty intense because each move that you do is countered by another upstaging it by Mariko North. So by the time that this smuggler's handshake is done, you're 5 minutes, 3 shots in, and you both finish by with a lime wedge in your mouth. Where you each
we both
bite
finished
lime,
by finishing.
By finishing, and he ends it with a dap.
I can already tell it's going to be a pleasure to have you and your crew on board. When did you say you needed to leave by?
Oh, we're going to leave on the of the next month.
Right. Set sail on the new moon. Well.
Right.
I'll have the ship ready to go.
We will have our belongings brought down the day before.
Pleasure.
Yeah, Mariko's gonna head out. You have successfully gotten yourself. Go ahead and take the 2,000 gold out of your. Your gold.
Of the gold you've been keeping safe for everyone, right?
That's what Fox does. Just keeps gold safe. It's okay. She's gonna get the money back from Atticus.
As they walk away, Perrin is gonna be like, "All right, who's on the crew? Who do we have? We've got some bruisers. We got that weird fucking skeleton. Do you know what the fuck is going on there?"
Not even a fucking clue. But that guy gives me the absolute creeps.
Right, and we've got Kurt. So we've got a bartender slash charmer. I don't know why Vlad's coming. Do you want Vlad there?
I love Vlad.
All right, fine. I don't know what he's gonna fucking do, but sure, why not? We've got a little backup stabber who can keep an eye on everyone and skulk around.
Her name is Vera.
I don't need to know that. So we probably need, I've been asking around. I want to get a wizard on board. Do we need anyone else? Any other things? So he's just like a little healer type.
I've never even been on a boat. I don't know what kind of people are necessary for crews of a boat.
Well, I mean, we're not crewing the boat. We mostly need who's on the other side, when we get to the Nightlands.
What even is over there?
Night.
Perfect, yeah. You know what? It seems like you have got this all figured out then.
I mean, do you want to bring your Ravania?
She can't come.
Okay. Do you want to bring somebody else?
I already have Vera coming with me. And I have Brightburn.
Right.
And I guess I have the rest of you.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're third place there. Well, okay, I'll ask around about maybe we need a researcher. Somebody who's smart.
I don't really trust researchers anymore. Kind of a bad experience with the last one.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Should I get somebody spooky with a mystery backstory that we don't find out until weeks from now?
How many shots did you take?
4, 7.
Okay, maybe we talk about this with everyone else?
Right. Assemble the 11 people that we have. I think Sosuro should be in town today. We can ask him too.
Okay.
And Perrin also picks up all the bags, so he's gonna bring a cart with all their Christmas presents.
Awesome. You pick up the bags. You head back. You're all meeting now at back at the house. I think you've got everyone there. I will just again to go over and make sure we're at a dozen. Cletus, there in attendance, has been, I think, with Fauna probably for the past couple, wasn't there at the library, but has kind of been with you, Fauna, for the last couple days, tagging along. So we got Cletus, Vladimir Thakul is there, Kurt Starfucker is there. We got Vera Saffron, Fox's little kind of newly appointed apprentice. Understudy? I like maybe understudy better for a rogue. And am I forgetting anyone else other than Cicero?
August, Cletus, Vera, Kurt,
yes,
Vlad. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yep.
I think probably we could we could get away with bundling August up in some boxes as if he's just a box full of bones. He doesn't appear to eat or drink. I'm just saying, if we wanted to fool the crew, we could do that.
Why are we wanting to bring a bunch of random people with us?
Because we don't want to die.
But, okay.
Because we're going to a place where we don't know anyone, so we're trying, and we know that it's dangerous, so we're going to bring some people to have as backup. Presumably, when we get to the other side, we'll have a little bit of a home base at, like, the dock towns in Nightlands. I don't know how much everybody's talked about Nightlands with Elijah, but there's basically, like, an immigration safe area, like, in the docks, so we'll, like, book rooms there, and we'll have a home base, and Kurt and all these guys will handle that. And then that will basically be our Baldur's Gate 3 home base, and we can grab NPCs when we want them. Yep. But it's not a super friendly place. So, you know.
I don't know. I think we made it all sunshine and unicorns during the world build.
Yeah, exactly. Made it fucking awful. Is there another person as out of character that we need to think about?
Kurt's going to lean over to Vladimir while you're all talking about this. Sometimes I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
As we all drop our characters' voices and our characters just start spewing out. Oh, yeah, sorry, my Zoom settings are messed up. Give me a second.
I feel like if we need a wizard, we could talk to my new friend because they got the wizard hookup. Not the skeleton, the other friend.
Who's your friend?
Ari. Thank you.
All of you are going to see, like, Fauna, as you mentioned this thing about the wizard, as you say this, all of you see there is over in the corner, old man, bent with age, long gray robes. They look like they were nice a decade ago. They've gotten kind of threadbare, and there's no notable like you don't see like any crests or like markings denoting where this hermit comes from. Very weathered face, long white beard, hair also that just sort of like blends into the beard. Not unkempt, but definitely like past the age where like he's doesn't put as much effort into his appearance as he might have.
Can't be bothered to
20 years ago. As you're talking about the wizard, this hermit who is inexplicably that, like, I think Perrin, you brought this person in as a guest, is going to stand up.
If it's quite all right, I might be able to fill the position if it's a wizard you're looking for.
I told you guys, I brought this guy.
Looking for passage to the Nightlands for some time.
What?
It's Cicero. He's got a bone to pick over there, too. He's a smart guy. He knows a bunch of spells and shit.
Don't say things about bones around August. It's rude.
About the bone? Why not? It's humorous.
Wait. August? Where?
Oh, did you not meet August?
Where? I don't see.
This
what
is him.
The fuck?
Atticus is gonna pull his axe out that he picked up.
Yeah, because you did. Yeah.
August is
gonna like wave it because he's not sure.
Yeah, August has like tied together a bunch of scraps of rags and tried to make clothes for himself because he's clearly not pleased about just being bones everywhere. So he's gonna reach out little gloved, mittened hands and take the axe from you.
What the fuck happened to you?
He's gonna shrug like,
he can't
it's
talk.
a living.
Fauna's gonna tell everybody who doesn't already know the whole story about what happened with the Filth King and everything.
August is gonna flip through the picture books and point at random pictures of animals while she's narrating the story.
Yeah. They used to call you the ox. I can see you're pointing at an ox. Yeah. By the way, Atlas, say hi to all the friends.
Oh, hey everyone.
Hey Atlas, how are you?
What up, kid?
Hi.
Good.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I'm just here, here for the funeral.
Yeah, this kid's totally gonna try to sneak on the ship, right? Don't think I don't see you,
No.
Atlas. Are you gonna try to sneak on this ship?
I'm not. I promised.
Yeah, he's got bigger things to worry about now. By the way, what the fuck happened to you, Perrin? Excuse my language, son. You were gone after the big battle.
Yeah, and now you're coming in.
I've been back for like a week and a half. What's the big deal?
Zero, some kind of wizard?
Okay, about that guy. You're saying that we need people to help us with the ship, but you want to bring, no offense, 2 sacks of bones?
Stiff breeze would knock him over the side.
So, Cyril, you showed them something like arcane and cool.
How did you two meet?
No, it's no big deal. I just
Guys,
died
you
and
know,
you
know that I know people.
You just
Like,
disappeared.
it's not a big deal. Like, what are we arguing about here?
We've seen him do it. He goes, then he comes back, and then he goes again.
Dad.
It was a rough time for all of us. I agree.
I just wanted my friend there. That's all.
Didn't know you were gonna immediately come back to life. I'm sorry that when one of my friends stabbed one of my other friends, and then a third friend also died. You know, look, I get it. We're all grieving. We're all a little bit upset. Let's all point fingers at Perrin, who's been slaving away for the last 2 weeks, getting all of the supplies together, putting the ship together. Now we're like, oh, Perrin, you know people that aren't us? Yes, guys, I know other people. One of them recommended this wizard.
No, man, I just we just didn't talk about it, you know.
Okay, let me lay it out here, and Perrin scoots his chair in really close and lowers his voice a little bit. I don't know if you've all noticed, but Fauna is kind of like getting spikier and shinier and bigger horns all the time. So I kind of want to make sure that there's someone around that if she turns into a wild monster, can find her when we go to this continent that's full of people that are gonna want to kill us. It just kind of seems like it makes a little bit of sense after everything we've been through to have another person who's really good at magic. Is that all right? Is everybody cool with that?
Oh, I never had a problem with that.
Hey, Baron. You're coming at this very defensively, and I get it. I do. However, look around at us, all right? We've all got our own sordid history, and we're all trying to go under the radar for this. We're just asking questions. We're not attacking you. We're not coming at you. You're bringing in a new person into our party. We want to make sure they're solid, especially after what happened with the last guy that none of us checked until it was too fucking late.
What did we find out about Kurt?
Yours.
Oh, so like 4 guys ago. Okay, fair.
We don't have a good track record with guys, is what we're saying.
Okay. One of the crews I used to run with, they knew this guy. I double-checked some resources. That's one of the places that I went. He's cool.
I trust you.
I would like
trust you. I don't trust the vague answers, but you know what? Fair enough.
Everyone, give me a perception check real quick.
I mean, I did bring a skeleton, so I guess maybe I should.
Yeah, literally. She pulled a skeleton out
of
of an oyster, and my guy's the one that we're worried about? Come on.
Yeah, but August and
6.
and Atticus know each other, so
19.
He's not new.
Okay.
Atticus, you knew a skeleton?
25.
Well, there's no way to, know if this is August, but he kept pointing to a photo of an ox, and, used to be called the ox, so, knowing we were out at the beach, and I, swam out when I was younger and could do that sort of thing, but now I'm a little older and, don't know if I could do that, but, look.
No, I'm sure. You're looking good, bud.
He's like, I could still do that. I could still do
No,
that.
it's definitely August. He told me his name, and he told me that he knew you before he was a skeleton, so it's definitely him.
Yeah, he's a good man.
On the 19th, Vox, you're going to look over in the corner. You see, has been this whole time just kind of mumbling under his breath. into his hand. Susuro is like conjuring something, and you see that his eyes have gone wide and just full white, and there's this soft breeze that you can't feel, but there must be, because his hair is just sort of like it's flowing in this space as he's murmuring into the hands. And you see above his head 3 almost star-like motes appear, just sort of shining. He comes back to himself, looks over, makes eye contact with you, Vox. Steps over, takes one of the motes down off his head, and shows it to you in his hand. Gesture of goodwill. You can make an insight check if you want.
Vox would absolutely do an insight check. I had advantage.
Vox pulls out her dice and rolls them on the table.
You got a 13.
13. It is a gesture of goodwill.
All right, so he does a little bit of something, and Vox would go to grab it.
You take the mote. Right now, if I ask Vox who they would most like to see right now, who would it be?
It would, it would be Bert, because she's not processed that yet.
This is beautiful, because this is something that I was going to find a way to do later, but we are going to do it now. Vox, you are looking into the moat, and you realize it's this soft, silvery light, almost like starlight. And you're looking into it, and as you look into it, you start to see materializing a landscape, something familiar. Red stone, dust, a small farmhouse with a garden outside of it. And on the top of the house, affixed to the top of the chimney, a small lit head of an automaton, its eyes faintly glowing even in the afternoon light. Smoke kind of like pours out of its still mouth and out of the ventilation sides on its head. And as you are looking at this farmhouse, you see a man, familiar, bearded, step out of the house with his youngest daughter, the same girl that Fauna healed all that time ago on the way to Imago. And I think, Vox, would you know the place where Bert was supposed to return with seeds upon his completion of destroying or finishing this quest. This was his next one. You see the father walk out, his daughter at his side, and out in the garden, it is 10 times the size that it was when you were there last. You see that new plants and trees have sprouted, ones bearing fruit, plants that shouldn't be able to grow in this scrub land outside of Imago. Flowers. Soft green moss now covers the rocks, and a stream cuts through it all. And at the edge of the stream, you see the daughter kind of like runs out, splashes into the stream, picks one of these fruits, kind of like this knobby looking, like almost like rambutan looking thing, and kind of like cracks it open and takes a bite, and then crouches down in the creek. Just her dress gets absolutely soaked, doesn't care, is crouching down in the creek and looking, and you see what she is looking at she calls to her father. You can't hear anything in the image. It's just a silent image. But she calls to her father. It's like excitedly waving. And you see he comes over to look and looks down. And as he looks down, the image centers in, and you see here a little recess in the stream where there's this small little pool sheltered by stones that almost look like they've been placed there by hand to create a little still pool. You see about 24 or so little black tadpoles wriggling around, swimming back and forth. And then the image is gone. And you are holding the mote still in your hand.
How did you... Was that Bert and Grace and Rusty? How did you...
It's not for me to decide what you see. It's simply what you wish to see. I take it. It was someone important to you.
Important to all of us.
What did you see?
I was back at Rusty and Grace's, and it was... He did it. He must have done it. It was so green and so much life there, and then the tadpoles, and I think it's okay. I think he's okay.
Well, I'm glad that you saw what you needed to see.
I'm sorry I called you a bag of bones. It's been a real weird week.
It's all right. To be honest, I'm pushing 100 years old, so...
Really?
Brother, I get it. Hey.
Oh, young one over here. Keep up.
Odd question for you.
All right. Well, human here in the room. Everyone look out.
Odd question for your friend. I have a hankering for some hard candy. Do you have any by chance?
Oh, do I ever? Why, I've got butterscotch and root beer barrels.
You got any, a root beer barrel.
I've got fizzums and a root beer barrel.
Do you have those little ones that taste like candy apples?
Oh, do you have the strawberry ones with the filling?
Just
Great call,
dumping
Perry.
out
Great
pockets
call.
full of like
Careful,
old
man, you don't wanna
candy
crack
onto the
few
table.
teeth you have left.
Certainly, like
Look,
every type and.
I'm glad we're all cool with this guy, but honestly, fuck all you guys for pulling out candy and throwing it on the table, and that's the moment where you're like, yeah, cool, now we're cool with this.
I mean, it doesn't make sense why he would be friends with you. You're such a dick.
Jesus.
Baron, I said I was cool with it.
Sorry,
like,
look,
I don't know
okay,
what
I know
to
I
say.
was defensive. I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to find Mari, and I couldn't. I just thought I'd bring him along, and I couldn't track him down. And I'm upset about it, and I'm upset about the friends that we lost. So yeah, I'm a little on edge about it. I did get you guys some presents, though, so there you go. Here's some fucking shit.
Fauna's just gonna hug him.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Can I read them their things?
Yeah, go for it. Cletus is going to pat you on the back, too, and hand you a lollipop.
Perrin will stick the lollipop in his mouth. Atticus, yours. Each of one of these bags come with a little tag on it, where Perrin's little scraggly writing has written on there the name of the bag. So Atticus, and I can send this all to you later. Your bag is the bag of stalwart friendship. And it's kind of like a low slung messenger bag, and all the the slings and the straps have all these kind of different attachments and O-rings, and you can just kind of tell as you play with it that as your armor is going on and off, you don't have to make any adjustments. The bag will just kind of adjust for you, and you can swing it around as you need. And it allows the user to relocate to an ally within 30 feet as a reaction once per day. And the user has advantage on checks using painter's supplies or art. And it smells like a nostalgic campfire.
This
Vox.
smells wonderful.
Hell fucking yeah, it does. Vox's bag is the bag of salted hunger. It's just kind of covered in sheaths for daggers and swords and whatever, and it's studded black leather. It smells of salt, and it has a minor vampiric effect. So once per day on a successful hit, half your damage dealt can be retained in the bag. This is a pool of healing points that can be used at will on yourself as a bonus action. Any unused points disappear during the next long rest, and blood drips out of the bag as a result when it is full. Nyx, your bag is Bag of Private Moonlight. It's impossibly Vanta black. No one can open it except for Nyx, the owner. And if it's cut open, it appears to be empty, but the owner can repair it, and then all your items are still there. You can use the action to spread it out. It's kind of like geometrically folded together, so you can spread it out into effectively a cloak that provides total cover. You can attack or cast spells while receiving total cover that way, and you can use a bonus action to emerge from cover. It also allows the owner to wash self or items in the moonlight as if it is fresh flowing water. Fauna's, I had to scroll a little bit, sorry. Fauna's is the Coven's carryall. It's made of thick plant fiber. It's covered in pouches and vials. Yours is easiest because you're going to be able to Google yours. It has all the effects of a handy haversack. So it's got 2 different side pouches that can each hold 20 pounds of material, and a central pouch that can hold 80 pounds. However, the bag itself only weighs 5 pounds, no matter how full it is. Retrieving an item is always magically on top. If you're in combat or initiative, it does require an action, but it is whatever you need is immediately at hand, no matter how full the bag is. The user will always know their way home, so you can never be lost. It smells of a dense, deep forest bed. And as Perrin is handing these out, you see a very small bundle that has Bert's name on it, and he looks at it and then sets it back on the table. And Bert's is the bag of devoted knighthood. And it is very proportionally adorably small. And just so everyone knows, it has 2 hooks on it to hold hats, and it provides advantage on checks to interact and influence groups of friends, and to the critical attacks grant the jump spell.
She can that one to Atlas.
Well, yeah, we can do that. And then Perrin's bag, just so everyone knows, because this will be happening now. Perrin's is the bag of conniving. It's also just, dark green, brown leather, blends in with this stuff, but it allows the user to pull a real playing card that's indistinguishable from other nearby playing cards out of their sleeve. Any other cards created in this manner disappear when making a new card, and it gives the user advantage on persuading others to take and honor wagers. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Perrin.
Very good. Thanks.
Fauna's just hugging Perrin more again.
Yeah, I really wanted Nyx to have something that was just theirs.
Perrin, you hand these out. Unless anyone has anything else to add to this meeting about the crew or the Nightlands, I think it kind of concludes. You've got your dozen crew members sorted out.
Well, we've got 11. Did we decide on a 12th? And do we want to ask the one
the
cleric? No, that was 11. Did I count wrong?
It's not. They're not intending for them to make it in time for like the ship or anything, but I do want Nyx to write and send out a letter to Benath to claim on old promises. And I will send that to you what I say.
Okay, Elijah, cool. R5, August, Cletus, Vera, Kurt, Vlad, and Cicero.
I'm assuming that
okay,
maybe this already happened because we've apparently Perrin's been back for a while, but Fauna did have Ornament of Rights. So if she hasn't already given it back to Perrin, then she will give it back to him now.
By the way, I know you took care of the boat and all that. I forgot. I opened a bank account in town oh God, like 900 years ago, and I went and checked it. I have like 30,000 gold in there, so if we need to stop there and make a deposit.
Yeah, because Vox and I paid $4,000 up front.
Oh, do you
for
have
all the?
Did you get like a receipt for that, or
I think we get
like a contract?
for ship captains?
The contract is the ship that we're gonna get on.
Make a sleight of hand check to hide the receipt that Mariko gave you.
Aaron hands you a Queen of Hearts.
17 plus 11, 28.
Fucking yeah. No receipt in sight.
All right, well, yeah.
Tell you what. If we find a receipt, I bet you it'll say 4,000 gold, eh?
No, you've proven trustworthy to me. I don't know why you would lie to me.
Yeah, of
We've
course
been
not.
friends for so long, and you bought me this
Definitely
beautiful,
wouldn't lie.
or you made this beautiful gift. I don't even know. So,
Perrin is gonna pull Vox aside and be like, "We have to get him something super nice, like way nicer than these backpacks. We have to get him the nicest thing ever."
I feel so much guilt.
I mean, let me just go. I'll pull it out and just quick of Atticus waiting in line at the bank, like just like tapping his foot, like pulling that out and then giving 2,000 gold each to Q and Tyler, Perrin and Vox.
Okay, cool.
Vox, you want to hold on to my gold for me?
No. That is your liar's gold.
No, that's real gold. It's not liar's gold. I don't know why. It's
Not at all.
real.
No, you're right. But that's Perrin's gold.
Perrin
I have my
slips
gold.
it into Fauna's bag where the weight would not be noticed.
Sleight of hand check.
17.
Fauna, what is your passive perception is 19, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bonnie, you notice
You see Perrin
$2,000 worth of gold ingots into the side panel of your.
Fauna just like sees it, and then she's just like, "I'll deal with that later."
You just gotta adjust these straps here and make sure they're nice and tight.
She just gives Perrin a little pat on the shoulder, like,
Are we rich now?
Yeah. I don't know. We should probably just give this back to Atticus.
Awesome.
August smiles his skeletal smile at the cat, and he's like, "Good job." August is now just a personal haunting for the cat.
Jesus Christ. And he's coming with us. We're for sure on that.
Who
He's coming with
is
us.
Jesus?
Yeah, what's wrong? Why do you want him to
think
come?
that Brightburn would try to nibble and like lick at this walking skeleton.
August
by the
accepts
way.
it. August
It's just
pets
kind of
Brightburn while he
gnawing at
does
the
it.
ankle bone.
Yeah. That's fine, right?
Boy.
You can't feel that. He's
I'm a good
not.
boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
Free me from this unhinged nightmare.
Ooh.
I see there's a lot going on, but we should probably get ready for the ceremony funeral. And you see Atticus's armor just like turn to grass and then turn into his noble clothes. He's like, "All right, I'm ready."
The bag perfectly settles around the new layout of your body.
Awesome. Okay.
Weird way to say this.
Unless
This bag is great.
This bag is awesome. Unless there's anything else that anyone wants to get done, we are going to. I mean, at this point now, we are like three weeks into like Yule. Tonight is the new moon. You will be setting sail, like, assuming that you are willing, just because of the discretion that you want. Mariko suggested that it was best to leave at night, so you will be leaving shortly after midnight. The funeral taking place in the afternoon, and given that, where is my? Hold on, I gotta go all the way back up to my cue point. Yeah, we're going to go to the funeral. It is not just the party that is gathered here. There are hundreds of people who fill the streets. People, families, individuals, kind of as this procession makes its way down the street towards the chapel, people are just pouring out of houses, heading downstairs. It's not a waterway that you're on. It's one of the cobblestone streets here in St. Florian. And I think the cobblestone street is like descending in a spiral to kind of like come around the back of the other side, like the tall side of the chapel. And as you do this, you kind of get down to a waterway. And so here everyone begins to take, I think the procession itself takes a few hours. So by the time you get down here, the sun is starting to set and the light is getting less. As everyone is getting onto various like little boats and watercraft and things like that to navigate this waterway to head, like loop around back towards the chapel. There are dozens of people here lined up that are just handing out small little torches and candles to people as they get on the boats. There's a lot of people like leaving flowers too. So kind of by the time that all of you get like settled into your own craft, I think, I mean, if you want to, like the party of 5, all of you can certainly fit on one, probably with Cletus too, and then the rest in like another little boat right next to you. And as you were heading down, you know, surrounded by little points of light, the waterway is filled to the brim with flowers that are just floating along with you. And
Elijah,
yeah,
could you describe the item I received in my personal session to communicate with a certain somebody?
Yes. So you have, I mean, I think Atticus, like everyone would notice it on you, like you wearing, do you, in this moment, like wearing for the funeral, do you regenerate your mother's armor, or are you just wearing like noble clothes?
I probably regenerate it once we're out there just to show like respect for a fallen knight.
Yeah. I think as you like step out into the craft, Atticus, the boat kind of sways with your weight. All of you see Atticus's armor regenerate. Again, like the red of the Phoenix armor is gone. This is green and gold. And you see in patches, not cracks in the armor, but natural places where like the plating comes to a seam. There are little, just like the smallest little green plants and little patches of moss that fill up the, what would be the weak spots in the armor, which are not, being filled with this living plant matter. And I think also in particular, Nyx would notice that bloom that you had given to Atticus, that I had a 4th level cure wounds spell into it, is still here, like in the lapel on the side of the armor, but it is fully rooted and like blue. So it's now grown into and is part of the armor. Yeah, I'm not going to make it's getting dark. I'm not going to make anyone make a perception check for this. Atticus, if you've got your sword there, everyone else would also notice one other thing, which is that the sword no longer is lit with that almost iridescent orange flame that used to lick over it. The flame is completely gone. However, in the polished surface of the blade, occasionally, if you're looking, you can see a small little bright point of light slowly move across it. And then sometimes another from the other side. Almost looks like fireflies reflected in the blade, even though currently there are no fireflies around to be reflected. And it is through this armor now, Atticus, infused with the magic of the Unbroken Green, that you have that one last tether to speak to Bert if you wish.
Yeah, Atticus makes it a point for like the party to be there, and
one last time, y'all.
And is gonna channel that ability.
You channel it. All of you standing now in the craft, surrounded by those flowers floating downstream and points of light everywhere. At this point, you are rounding it, and coming into view around the corner is the ruins of the chapel. Now overgrown, even on the high wall that still stands, covered in greenery and newly blooming flowers that are catching the last bit of light. All of you don't hear it, but you feel it. A small little warm mote of light in the pit of your stomach that spreads out. And in the surface of Atticus's sword, you see coming into focus a lot like it used to when Atticus's sword was used to reveal things. You all see an image of the meadow just outside Phoenix Manor at the edges of the Unbroken Green, with the same sun that is setting on you now also setting there. Does anyone have anything that they say?
Nyx is gonna approach Bert and smile at him, and tears in their eyes, and they're gonna get down on their knees on his level, and clasp both of his shoulders. And you are one of the purest things I've ever encountered in this world. Became a dear friend to so many of us, but an even braver spark. May Makorum's stars smile upon you. May Olthana guide you through her waters to safe harbor. Ignis greet you in death. You're a little firefly. And they'll press their forehead to his and take their leave.
Yeah, Atticus just goes,
is that a nod of the Phoenix I see right there?
I think the nearly, almost kind of like translucent image of Bert in your blade just smiles back at you.
Can you see all these flowers and all these boats?
Yeah. I see him. It's not all for me, is it?
Well, you know, I've never I've never lied to you, but I mean, there's some of them are for
some of it's for me. I know.
A lot of it's for you, but
yeah.
I've never seen a not get quite a send off. Thank you. You're the best squire I ever had. You saved my boy. You saved me. Just know you got a little plot down on Phoenix Manor that's yours.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll visit it from time to time. I don't know, I kind of feel like wherever I am now, it's almost like I'm anywhere where there's something growing. You know, it's, what is that thing that, they used to say in Soul I Saw? From the green we are born, to the green we return. May it be ever unbroken.
Damn. I'm gonna miss you, bud.
Atticus, in this moment, a soft, about frog-sized hand, like the moss, grows up and just softly touches the side of your face. I'm with you.
Atticus kind of like puts his hand on it and looks at the rest of the party, and is like,
all right, y'all, this is your last chance, so.
Bert. You were a really good knight. And you're a really good friend. I'm sorry that I always gave you shit. But I think, I don't know. Just felt like maybe you were a little bit of what I wanted to be. And I was scared to say that.
It's okay, Perrin. And I think for all of you now, too, like, you're standing on this boat, surrounded, like, you've all been fixated on the blade, but in the time that has been happening, spreading out from both the bottom of the blade where it makes contact with the boat, and also just from Atticus's feet, you know, he's wearing the armor, growing off of the armor, all of you now realize there is like almost a carpet of moss and plants that is grown out over the boat that you were all on. And as plants and flowers begin to slowly bloom out of this carpet of green, all of them almost like so many fingers reaching up towards all of you.
I think Vox would come down and just like look into the sword and thank you so much for forgiving me and for teaching me. And I went back to that farm and you fulfilled your promise and it's so green.
Oh, good. I hoped it would be.
There's so many tadpoles.
Oh. Well. Yeah, good job, me.
Bros.
Can ghosts have children?
Fuck yeah, Bert.
Fauna is going to coax the plant up into like a full form of Bert. And I know it was a little complicated last time with Atlas and everything, but this one it's just you, Bert. And she's going to cast polymorph to turn him into a human again so that he can see what his soul would look like as a human.
You bring the plants up to form an image of Bert. Still within this like flowering image itself, there are still plants, almost like tendrils that are still kind of like slowly reaching out towards all of you. You cast Polymorph. In the blade itself, where the image of Bert is, you see swirling around him, elongating, still wearing the same golden armor, stands a man. Looks to be maybe in his early 20s, fresh-faced, no, like very clean-shaven, probably couldn't grow a beard if you wanted to. Bright green eyes and short, curly, like almost fiery orange hair and eyebrows. Looking back out at all of you and just has a big, wide grin. Well, I'll be handsome as a man, too. Ain't that just the way?
We love you, Bert. You'll always be with us.
Atlas, you have any final words?
Atlas is just going to put his hand up and put it on the sword, and Bert matches it. Thanks for being my frog, Bert. Thanks for being my boy, Atlas. I miss you. And I think Atlas takes a step back, and the human image of Bert in the sword looks at all of you. Well, looks like it's about my time. I got more growing to do, you know? You know, when I think back about what I learned, you know, going from just being a regular old frog to this whole thing, kind of crazy. But if I had to condense it all, I think he looks pointedly at you, like Vox and Perrin, like both of you. Perrin's last words, like kind of somewhat of an apology more than anything, and to Vox, like the thanks for his forgiveness. If I learned anything, goodness, courage, light, they fill the cracks you can't mend yourself. I think when you tell a good story, it heals you, much as anything can. I'm just happy I got to be a part of it. So, I guess, you know, anytime you miss me, just whisper to the moss or talk to the leaves, and I'm sure sooner or later they'll send me word. So long, friends. And slowly, the image in the blade begins to fade.
Oh wait, fuck, can we give him his backpack? Will that fit in there? Can we just shove that in there? Bert, I got you a backpack. Bert, it's really cool.
You go to hold it up against the blade. It's just a blade now. But the plants around you remain. And if you're offering the backpack, I think several tendrils reach up to grab the pack and pull it down into the plants.
Yeah, that seems like a good use of all that money I spent. All right. Forrest has a backpack.
Fauna's gonna reach out and not take, but like with the intention of letting the plant Bert give it to her if it wants, like take like a bloom or something from the plant Bert to say.
Yeah. No check necessary. You get what most of the carpet, like the carpet of flora remains, but a lot of the larger plants and the this thing that you formed into Bert's likeness begin to retract into that mossy green carpet. Fauna, the plants leave behind a small, 2 little leaves on it, but a small unopened green bud.
Yeah, she's gonna take it and put it in one of her vials of that are attached to her new bag.
Yeah. Cool. I think the rest of the funeral procession finishes as you round, and there is a quiet walk once the boats dock at the back end of there's a quiet walk through the ruins, and all of you are going to be walking through I think for all of you except for Atticus, the first time that you're seeing it now, the ruins down here in the chapel where you fought Okran, all overgrown now, and slowly already a makeshift wooden staircase has been built around the edge so that you can walk slowly up. And over the next hour, the procession finishes. And as you're all headed back to the house, Atticus, you have a moment where you're going to put your sword on your back and shoulders a little stiff. And do you take a moment here? You're kind of towards the back of Procession's chapel, still in view. Do you take a moment for Armitage?
Yeah, Atticus kind of looks at the group and is just kind of
I need to say bye to my dad real quick. This shouldn't take long, and
he just kind of walks over. We're still in the chapel.
Yeah.
Or are we walking back
yeah.
from the chapel? I'm gonna walk to where I would remembered that was the last place I saw him, or where we were standing on the battlefield together, and just kind of take a knee and put my hands on the ground and kind of talk to myself a little bit about we'll just let that be something that people can ask about another time, but he's definitely talking as if his dad was there.
Is Atticus, give me a perception check as you're doing this.
$13.
On a 13, for just one moment, the smell of cedar burning, sharp, not unpleasant, but strong, thick gray smoke, fills your nostrils And in front of you, just for an instant, you'd swear that wreathed in that same fire that used to surround your sword, you see the image of a large knight. Beard, long hair, looks a lot like you, looking down at you. And then with the last of the light, it's gone.
Yeah, Atticus really takes that smell in and kind of just he has a signet ring that has the phoenix on it, and he realizes he's still wearing it. He takes it off and leaves it there. Joins the party, goes back and joins the party.
You go back to join the party. I think that now that it passes into nighttime, there's a revelry, like far more of the city joins in to what is essentially like the wake after the funeral, but the revelry that takes place. So it gets the silence that has fallen over St. Florian in the last 3 weeks breaks now. And you can tell that everyone around you is in for a pretty late night. Is everyone here, are they going to join in the festivities, or are you all going back to the house to prepare for your departure at midnight or just after midnight?
Yeah, Atticus would definitely go and prepare and try and take out as much money from the bank as they can and for traveling, for bargaining. But they're packing all the stuff up and all that.
Cool.
I think Nyx is gonna go up to Vox, and just guess we only have so many nights left of fun for us before things get serious again. Candied apple for Bert.
I feel like that's what he'd want us to do. I really don't like them, though. Really tacky.
They gum in the teeth and you can't get them out, but you know what? He somehow got drunk off of them. So I say we take some, soak them in as much alcohol as we can find, and see what happens.
Wait, what are you guys talking
Oh, you heard the word alcohol, huh?
Kurt is already downstairs making a huge batch of boozy candied apples. All right, everyone, line up.
Bob for them in the booze, and you'll get extra drunk.
I am not sticking my head in there.
That was for Perrin.
All right, well, I will see all of you on the other side, because I have learned I have gills. And Perrin dunks his head in the water and learns he does not have gills.
One exceptionally drunk Perrin later, and a few hours later, the revelry, I think not around town, but maybe immediately close to the house, a lot of it is beginning to settle down. It's quieter now. Kurt has gone off to bed, as well as, the rest of your crew who's going, all trying to get in a little nap before you leave. It is approaching midnight. So everyone is here at the house. Is anyone trying to get in a rest, or is everyone staying up?
I don't think Fauna really joined in the party part. I feel like she was feeling like she needed to be alone. So she was probably just resting most of that time.
Cool. I think Cletus comes to check on you once
Sorry, I was just going to say, I did 2 spells in this and we didn't do anything about it. Do you want to do something about it, or do you want to just call these ones the mulligan?
We'll call them mulligans. They were for
Make her roll on the mulligan table.
Atticus probably spent the time getting Atlas ready and walking them back
Cool.
through the door and putting them to bed, and then spending as much time, and then read him a story, read him his favorite story about the Cyclops and the dog knight named Domingo. I don't know.
The Cyclops and Domingo. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
As you were leaving in that moment, like, you blow out the candle, Atlas sits up in bed a little bit. Don't worry, Dad. I've got this.
Oh, I know. Never had a doubt in my mind.
I took a little bit of I figured out a way we can talk. I took a little bit of Grandpa's armor. Kind of makes, I don't know, it should work like a two-way speaking mirror. I'll try and make sure I keep mine on me and check in.
And you need a story every night, I'll be there.
And you see Atticus has like 3 gigantic like encyclopedias that he's like stuffing into like the bag Perrin got him.
I love that. Yeah, and Atticus.
I'm learning words. I'm learning words myself.
I know you've been doing story time's gotten real good. Yeah, I think sitting there on the night table too next to the candle, Atlas, you just see a small. It is like said glass, but like formed of. It is not a flat, but rather like a 3-dimensional prism. The same way that like the facets of the Armitage's armor, the Mirrored Knight's armor, caught the light. You have this palm-sized little like prism now that catches all this different light in the facets, and that is you've got now a little speaking mirror to communicate directly with whoever is on the other side, which Atticus has, or Atlas has the other one.
All right. No cursed books or none of that malarkey, all right? Get some rest.
All right. I will. Safe travels.
Love you, son. I'll see you sooner than you think.
Okay. Hey, Dad. Right the hand.
Right the hand. Right the hand.
And Atlas lays back in the bed. The last thing that we're going to do here before we end our prelude to Arc 3 and start Arc 3 in the beginning of December is this. Nyx, what is your passive perception?
Uh, 15.
15. Atticus, you left the house to go tuck Atlas in. I need you to just give me a luck check real quick. You're trying to get an 11 or higher.
$11 or higher? Okay, 11.
Okay. So all of you then, with you included, Atticus, go ahead and you can all give me a perception check.
Me as well?
No, yours is just going to be passive perception.
19.
19.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that 3 19s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's parents?
9.
9. Okay.
Wah.
He was buying for apples and alcohol.
Yeah, you're just like next to the bucket of apples. Kurt Starfucker put a little blanket like over top of you on the floor before he went upstairs. Nyx, you're in your room preparing for the long voyage. and that is what your mind is on. So you don't notice at first. In the corner of your room, there's very little light right now with the new moon. So you don't notice the curling shadow that sits there, writhing, and much like you, almost drawing the shadow into itself. Until you feel it in the room. Something there watching you. And before you can turn around, you hear a voice. Fill your room with almost like a whispered tone, but it booms out like you're almost hearing it in your heart and mind far louder than it actually is in the room.
I know the one responsible for your binding.
I spent so long listening to this song. Do I recognize the voice?
Give me a perception check.
That's a nat 1.
It is, I mean, there's something going on. Like, you can tell it's arcade. There's something going on with it. You don't recognize it at all. And you don't recognize, like, it's almost like you can see sort of like face in the shifting shadow of the form. Give me an insight check right now.
16?
Okay. On a 16, you're looking at this. There's something, you can feel something going on, and it has something to do with like your fragmented memory. There's something is like, there is some magic at work that almost like prevents you from seeing the face clearly too. Not active magic, but more like remnants, like old shards, like something like, I think all of you though, with the exception of Perrin, like very high perception checks, you would hear the voice coming from Nyx's room. Does everyone, like, do you all run straight?
What do you want?
Yeah, Atticus would like immediately go check on Nyx.
Cool. I think as you come
but
in,
politely, he's knocking on the door still. He's like, Nyx, are you? What's going on in there?
We're all just standing outside next to the door, like,
are you
okay?
Eyes on the shadow, they're gonna back up and just grab the handle and like throw the door open, basically.
You throw it open. Everyone else, you walk into the room. Everyone else, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
16.
Oh, I thought I was muted. 18.
Okay. On those checks, you also are seeing swirling shadows. Something is hiding the face of this person, like, and the body. They're just sitting in the corner, but like the same way that you've seen Nyx pull shadow into themselves, this person is actively pulling it, and it is like swirling around them all over their shape. Atticus on a dirty...
Oh, sorry. I was just curious if Riviana would have come with me. Assuming
it's your last
nightfall
night
and she was there.
Yeah, I think she's there. She's standing in the doorway too.
What's her perception?
Her perception. It's an 8 on the die.
My girlfriend's not perceptive. She's very distracted.
I think it's a total of like 14, but she's
just
just
looking
kind
at
of
how
standing
pretty
there,
you are,
like,
Vox.
Yeah. Hand on the pommel of her astral sword. Atticus, dirty 20. There was something in the tone of the voice, like obscured as it is the same way in the shadow, but there's something familiar, something you recognized, but God, it was like so long ago. You feel like you remember the voice because you remember it like...
Oh God, it's Derek Journeyman.
You feel like you remember it waking you out of something, a dream. That first dream that you had with the Phoenix that night in the hotel in Palam, when it burned to the ground and you all had that sit down discussion with the proxy for the Lord of Broken Light, with Calathus Arison. Even underneath all the arcane maskings, you can hear and you recognize the voice.
I came to tell you why you were lost for so long.
Nyx, on your insight check, you can hear there's pain, like actual physical pain in the voice. In this particular moment, and I'll include Perrin on this because it's perfect because I need 5 of you. Oh no, I don't have a piece of paper right here. I'm going to... I have a number hidden behind my finger since I can't write it on a piece of paper. I need each of you to roll me a d10. And we'll go in alphabetical order to hear the number.
No.
That's okay.
We're all just holding it up.
Oh, okay.
Now we're doing that.
Yeah, you can hold them up. 9.
Feels dramatic.
8. Whoop. Hold on. Everything just bumped over 1. Because, wait, that's so weird. It's because of the raising of the hands. You can't move. Hold on. You can't move a video while someone has their hand raised. So I guess this is the weirdest thing that Zoom does. All right. Wait. Everyone, put your hands back down, because then I can rearrange the windows. Why can't... This is so weird. You cannot move a window while somebody has their hand... No one's hand is raised. Zoom. Oh my God. All right, well...
Tyler has so many thumbs up going.
I guess we're just going to do it like this. Oh wait, what happens
Q's
if I raise
hand is
my
up.
hand? What happens if I raise my hand?
Q's hand
Q's
is
the
up.
DM now. Q's the DM.
Q, if you clicked react, it will give you...
I'm Fauna now.
Click the react
Oh,
button.
got it.
I'm
okay,
Nick.
no, I figured it out. I just have to click the button. It was me.
Magic.
Okay, so we had we started with a 9, went to an 8. That puts us at 17.
I had a 7.
Okay.
No hands, but also a 3 for Tyler.
It is already over 20. Which means that the feedback from this person breaking the bonds of their Gaish spell to go against what they have been ordered to do kills them. You hear a rattling. The shadows begin to pull back from the face. All of you, including you now, Nyx, see tall, lean, beautiful, like smooth face, pointed jaw, amber eyes, loose purple clothing, gold jewelry everywhere. you see Calathus Aerosint, smooth shaved head, and the same dark night elf skin as you, Nyx. All arcane pretense dropped. The shadow's gone. The voice back to normal. Calathus is going to look up at you, Nyx. And you don't have to make a roll for this. Because in this moment you realize something. All the time that your memory was constantly fragmented and put back in that, like, it was about 6 months or so that you were under Calathus's care as the proxy of the Lord of Broken Light. He was the one that gave you errands. He was the one. Something that you perhaps never registered with Callus is that you were never given an errand of cruelty. Subterfuge, yes, but never one of death or even of real violence. The last one that you did was when you were on that mission that ended in the death of Edris Salt, the Lord of Asparia. And after that, you were handed over into Calathus's care. And all that time, all that lost memory, all that fragment, you remember seeing Calathus's face, and you held that in your mind so much and had so much anger because that was the face that you saw. This is the first time you're seeing Calathus since your memories have been restored. And you realize why the images of your other father in the mirror that Vlad gave you have always been wreathed in shadow. Erased from your mind, torn out of it. You're looking at your father, Mala Aerosint.
And he's actively dying, is dead.
I think in these last moments you see blood coming out of the eyes, the nose.
They've already run to him and are scooping him up as he's falling and just...
When we put you in the stone, I didn't know. Forgive me, I didn't know.
Hang on, I didn't know either. Stay with me, please.
I didn't know. She always...
You're here now, it's okay.
She has taken so much.
She who?
You see, just coughs up so much blood.
Okay, no, that's okay. You just don't focus on talking, just stay with me.
Can we heal him?
Dinah, Esperoth, you find her. Find her.
She's fucking alive. No,
Forgive me.
In this moment, Nyx, you had talked about in our session, like, as prep for going to Nightlands, you'd started observing again some of the old rituals to Macorim. And I think still there are traces of one of those rituals, which is that, like, there is this, having night glass now so you can do it, there is this particular type of incense, and you were able to acquire it in St. Florian. But you use the light of the moon and the night glass to focus the light and light the incense on fire. When it finishes burning down, use the charcoal to essentially, like, trace a path on your arm. Macorim, one of their domains is the god of journeys, so you trace a path as not, like, it's basically like meant to invoke blessing on whatever journey you're about to undertake. Mala looks down and sees that path on your arm.
My moon, why keep the old ways? Favor given down by gods to the faithful. Don't always believe on anything but yourself. There are no gods anymore. Only monsters. I'm sorry it took me so long to find you.
Fauna's probably trying to not let this person die. I know that that's like interrupting a moment that's happening, but she would definitely be using her healer ability, which is stabilizing a dying person. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying she would be trying.
Yes. What I want you to do, you're not dying of natural causes, obviously, like far beyond. I mean, it went beyond the amount of damage needed to take Calathus out in one hit to like resist or violate the Gaish curse that is put upon him. What I will allow you to do in this moment, Fauna, if you're trying to prevent this, because you are not just trying to like prevent someone from dying and heal them, you are actively fighting a different like arcane force that is at work in them, that is trying to like basically on the way out take his life with it. Same way that we did for Cletus. This is going to be 3 Arcana checks that will work like death saving throws. The DC that you'll need to hit, since it's an Arcana check and not just a flat check, in order for it to be successful, it has to be a 15 or higher. If it's lower than a 15, it counts as a failure. Whichever one you get 3 of first will be how this falls. And I will say with each roll that you make, it will trigger an effect from the Wellspring chart.
I'm going to let Fauna do this first. I think also in an act of desperation and kind of seeing Fauna rush up and knowing like she's the healer of the group. Nyx is also going to take out their Lunestone and remembering how in the immensely powerful magic that is inside of it, how it saved their own life when they tried to kill themselves.
Okay.
They are going to take the shard and they're going to slam it in and they're going to be casting Mending and they're going to fix it. And they're going to attempt to put Mala inside of the Lunestone.
Okay, that in and of itself is going to lower the...
As soon as, if I'm not mistaken, as soon as Perrin
everybody
sees...
do something at once.
Perrin is drunk, but as soon as he sees the lodestone come out, he is actually going to dig in his pockets and pull out the duplicate stone that he has now. Which is not currently assigned to anyone's soul. He's going to be like...
he has a duplicate stone?
Yeah, you'll find out. And he's like,
Okay.
hey, does this help? I thought it would help, so I picked it up, but I forgot.
Fauna, you don't need to make a check. You like as a healer, you immediately know what to do. Like you would put each of the like one in each hand of this dying man who's like trying to somebody's trying to rip him away from the mortal plane. This is going to lower the DC of those. Well, I'll give you a choice. It can either lower the DC to 12, or we can just make it one roll where it has to be a 15 or above.
Can Riviana help with her? Because she's a monk now, right?
No, there's no more helping that can be done. It's either 3 rolls, DC, you got to get 12 or higher on your Arcana check, or 1 roll and as a 15 or higher. But each roll you make will trigger a wellspring effect.
I think this is a tough call. Because the wellspring could be bad. But I think I'm gonna do the 3. I think they'll have a better chance of living, and hopefully I won't blow everybody up. Sorry about that if that happens, everybody.
Yeah. Fauna. Make that first check.
Which is Arcana, right?
Arcana, yeah.
Okay, so 14.
14 is a success. Before you roll your next one, roll me a D100. It's going to be a lot of rolls here.
Sorry, everybody. So wait, do I roll this twice, or do you roll this and then a D10?
You roll both of them.
So I feel like
together.
I was doing it wrong for a while. I was rolling this twice.
You can roll, if you've got 2 D10s, you can roll them both at the same time, or just the first one that you roll will be the tens digit, and then the second will be the singles digit.
Oh no, like I have the D100 die, but I was rolling this twice and just taking the number. Does that make sense? Never mind. I'll just use the D10 as the second one. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. I was just doing it wrong before.
Got it.
21.
Okay. 21. Okay.
God, is it bad?
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what happens yet. Roll the next one. Roll the next Arcana check.
Sorry, everybody. Uh, 16.
16 is another success. Roll another D100.
$34.
34. As Fauna, describe what you're doing for me, like in this moment. Both Loonstones are in Mala's hands. Nyx, you're still like holding your father there on the floor. What does this look like?
Usually Fauna's magic is like takes on a greenish tinge, but I think in this case, knowing Nyx and like knowing that this person is somehow related to Nyx, even if we don't really know exactly what's happening, she's going to actually like channel down the moonlight. So it's kind of like 2 beams of moonlight coming down into each Loonstone in their hands.
Okay. Fawn, as you're doing this, a breeze begins to pick up in the room, rustling pages of any books that are laid out, waiting for packing, little bits of clothing. Nyx, a lock of your hair just begins to stir in this breeze that is whipping up in the room. And the smell of pine fills the room. The scent of the Evewood. All of you are healed for 6 points of damage. I don't know if anyone had any, but you are healed for 6 points of damage from this breeze.
I actually did.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a third Arcana check.
Uh, 22.
Make one more roll on the D100.
$97.
I don't know if we've gotten that high before.
No, we haven't. I've been writing them down, so I know what they do.
Yep. Okay. For 1 hour, you can read the minds of all creatures within a 30-foot radius. But at the same time, all creatures can read your own thoughts within that radius.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell it. I mean, obviously, like, you're all thinking what you're thinking, and I think everyone's focus is here. What I will say, though, is that what all of you notice now, because all of a sudden, immediately, all of you in this room are linked. You see and feel the bonds of your oath taken to each other to protect and accompany and be with, to see and to be seen by the people in this room. Fauna, those are 3 successes. The way that this happens is that in that same moonlight that is shining down, you see the light shine on Calathus, and he becomes the same shade as the silvery moonlight shining down. And as that moonlight fades, that same empty lunestone that Perrin handed out that had nothing in it, you're going to see it shimmer with that light as Calathus disappears in the fading of the light. But a similar sheen of that same light glosses over the surface of that second lunestone. And then it's quiet in the room.
Absolutely weeping, Nyx is going to take it and clutch it to their chest. And I think with their other arm, they're going to throw it around Fauna and just pull Fauna in and bury their head into the crook of her neck and just sobbing and just saying thank you over and over and over again.
Fauna's definitely hugging Nyx back very hard.
Perrin is very drunk, and he looks around and smiles and goes, "Did we do it? Did we save Bert?"
Yeah, Perrin, go back to bed.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and Atticus is gonna be like, yeah, Perrin, time to get ready for a big trip, all right?
Wiping their face, Nyx is gonna stand and put both moonstones on. One empty, the other faintly glowing. And their face is more set than probably you've ever seen it. I'm gonna kill that fucking bitch. And Let's go on a boat ride.
Let's go on a boat ride. The last thing I will say, like, it is the dead of night. You all, whole party, crew, all of that leaves the house and you head down to the docks. Fauna, you don't have to make a perception check for this. And just so I think it's fair to tell you that what you see now is the result of that first D100 roll.
Can you tell me what the number was again? I didn't write that
21.
one down. 21.
You are headed down to the docks. Fauna, you're bringing up the back, and you get the sense that something is watching. You're supposed to be discreet right now, and certainly you should be. I mean, it's the new... I think Nyx can cast Pass Without Trace, I think, right now. So you all, like, you don't need to make stealth checks. I know how well the group will do. You'll be fine. Funny, you should be hidden, but you feel someone watching. And as you are, like, headed out on the pier to board the ship, looking back for a moment, there's a little, it's maybe about 10 feet off the seawater, like there's a cliff, like kind of a green cliff that just comes to a stop before it drops off into the ocean. This is sort of like where the pier is, where you're boarding the ship. Up on this cliff, somehow illuminated, perhaps brighter than it should be from just starlight, since it is in fact the new moon, you see a shape. White, which makes sense in how it's reflecting the starlight as much as it is. That of a white stag. But in place of a stag's face, you see what almost looks to be this strange white porcelain mask with an eerie smile carved into it, 2 small nostrils and 2 wide eyes, and large ivory white horns look down at you from the cliff just for a moment, and then go cantering off out of sight. And that is where we're going to end our session. The next time we do one, which we won't be here next Monday, but the next time we do one, it'll be the first Monday in December, and it'll be session 1 of Arc 3, which I will say that we are calling Arc 3 the Once and Future Prime. And we'll see everyone in 2 weeks. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
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 Did we say bird?